Alright, let's be real. How many times have you been in a meeting or on a project call, and you've stumbled over a word? You know the one. The one that's supposed to make you sound organized, efficient, like you've got your life together? Yeah, that word. And today we're tackling a big one. Trello. But not just using Trello, we're diving into the mystery of how you actually say it. Because let's face it, we've all been there. You're about to recommend this amazing project management tool, you're ready to unleash the power of Kanban boards, and then your brain freezes. Is it Trello? Trello? Or something else entirely? You're not alone. I've seen the awkward pauses, the hesitant mumbles, the subtle side eyes. Even seasoned project managers sometimes give it a little internal cringe. It's like a secret language test hidden in plain sight. Why does it matter? Well, think about it. Clear communication is the foundation of any successful project. If you're fumbling over the name of the tool you're using, it undermines your credibility, even just a little. It distracts from your message. And honestly, it's just a bit annoying. But beyond that, there's something fascinating about the way words evolve, the way brand names take on a life of their own. We live in a world where digital tools are shaping our workflows, our collaborations, our entire lives. And yet, we often don't stop to think about the simple act of naming them. So let's break it down. Let's get to the bottom of this Trello pronunciation enigma. First, let's address the elephant in the digital room. There's no official, universally enforced pronunciation police. Atlassian, the company behind Trello, hasn't released a pronunciation guide with a dramatic voiceover or a catchy jingle. And that's part of the problem, right? We're left to our own devices, our own interpretations. But that doesn't mean we're completely adrift. We can look at the word itself, its structure, its origins, and even the way it's used in different parts of the world. Let's start with the basics. The word Trello is a short, two-syllable word. It's written with a T, an R, an E, two L's, and an O. Simple, right? But it's that E and the double L that seem to throw people off. The E in Trello is a short E sound. Think of the E in tell or well. It's not a long E like in tree or sea. That eliminates the Trello pronunciation for most native English speakers. Now the double L. In English, double L's usually create a single L sound. Think of little or ball. So we're not dealing with a drawn-out LLL sound. Putting it together, we're left with a pronunciation that sounds like Trello, emphasizing the short E sound and keeping the L sound crisp and singular. But here's where it gets interesting. Language is fluid. It evolves. And even within English, there are regional variations. In some areas, you might hear a slightly softer O sound, almost like a. So, it might sound closer to Trella. This isn't necessarily wrong, it's just a regional accent. Think about how people pronounce tomato or water. And then there's the influence of other languages. In some languages, the O sound is pronounced differently, which can influence how people say Trello, even when speaking English. Plus, let's be honest, how many of us learned the word by hearing it spoken in a tutorial or a webinar versus reading it on a screen? If you've only ever seen it written, it's easy to create a pronunciation in your head, especially if it fits with other words you know. Now, let's talk about the context. How do people who actually work at Atlassian, the creators of Trello, pronounce it? This is where things get a little, well, inconclusive. There aren't any official pronouncements, but if you dig around on YouTube, listen to Atlassian webinars, or watch interviews with Trello team members, you'll hear a range of pronunciations. But the most common, by far, is Trello. So, if you want to sound like an insider, Trello is probably your best bet. But here's the thing. Even if you pronounce it slightly differently, as long as you're clear and consistent, most people will understand you. And ultimately, that's what matters. Think about it. We have countless brand names that are pronounced differently by different people. Nike, Adidas, even Amazon. These companies have become so ubiquitous that their names have become part of our everyday vocabulary, and we've adapted them to our own linguistic styles. Trello is no different. It's a tool that's used by millions of people around the world, and it's natural that its name will be pronounced in a variety of ways. So, Instead of getting hung up on the correct pronunciation, let's focus on clear communication. Let's focus on using Trello effectively to manage our projects, collaborate with our teams, and get things done. And if you're still unsure, just say Trello with confidence. Own it. Even if you're slightly off, your confidence will make up for it. Here's a practical tip. Next time you're in a meeting and you need to mention Trello, listen to how others pronounce it. If most people are saying Trello, go with that. If you're in a region where Trello is more common, adapt. Language is about connection, not perfection. It's about understanding, not rigid rules. And when it comes to Trello, the most important thing is that we're all on the same page, regardless of how we pronounce its name. Let's also consider the impact of online communities. There are forums, discussion groups, and social media threads where people debate the pronunciation of Trello. This collective discussion helps to shape our understanding of the word and its variations. And while these discussions can be helpful, they can also be confusing. You'll find people passionately arguing for their preferred pronunciation, citing everything from linguistic rules to personal anecdotes. But remember, language is a living thing. It's constantly changing, adapting, and evolving. And what's considered correct today might be different tomorrow. So, let's embrace the ambiguity. Let's celebrate the diversity of language. And let's use Trello to its full potential, regardless of how we pronounce its name. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.